What's going on? Me, self, you, anyone? Um, this is here if you need it. Um, Today is Wednesday, the 30th. And what's on my heart today is spiritual stamina. What you feel and what you experience when you're feeling so much all at once, so much is going on. You've done the work and studied how to, regulate yourself or feel present or whatever, and it's still just exhausting. When you're holding it together and you're still just getting cooked. Like, we've all been there. It's not a unique feeling. It's universal for sure. I think we all get served a plate of it. It just depends on the portion size. But that's just kind of what I'm feeling today. This idea of like keeping your spirit afloat and what that can feel like, and what kind of weight you could live with. I feel like those of us who feel like they have something deep inside of them that they have no choice but to create or let out or give to somebody, like, I feel like it could hit us extremely hard because it's, you come from a place of such, at least if it's pure, you come from this place of almost devotion of like, hey, I feel the most alive when I am creating and I am offering something to the world. But when you consistently get taught lessons through what I guess some people could prescribe as failure, but we'll call them courses, we'll call them classes. I think I have a unique perspective on this topic. I've kind of always led with my whole heart and everything I do. Like, it was going back to the conversation yesterday on surrender. Like, I'm never waving the white flag. I'm dying with the ship. In so many different endeavors and so many different parts of life, I've listened to my intuition at every turn, and you still get taught these lessons over and over and over again. You get taught but there's a wonderful phrase that I really relate to, and that's, I think it's like a German poet or philosopher said, I could be butchering that, but he said, in order to be molded, man must first be melted. And some people in their life path, they get the benefit of external things guiding them along the way. I don't want to call them handouts by any means, because I think that has a connotation to it, but I just think that, like, there are certain events outside of people's control that are catalysts for their own growth. I've certainly had a shit ton of those. At every turn, whether that be starting companies and dedicating years of my life to building shit that, like, I started with zero fucking knowledge of, or you know, and for that to explode, or you know, uh, being a personal assistant and finding the guy I was working for kill himself and write me a suicide note right after I have meningitis, and just like, like I've this isn't a trauma dump, but this is, there's, I just say this to say spiritual stamina is just kind of on my heart today. Just this idea of like, you know, when you keep following your heart and it keeps putting you in these situations, these relationships, these paths, and it can feel so much like a curse, or like something is wrong, or like you can't win for losing, just like nonstop. And that's very much something that, let's keep it real, that's something I deal with. The byproduct is you have a deeper well for empathy, for life, for growth, for all of these things. Like, I'm somebody who has inherently experienced a lot, so I have an ability and a capacity to be there for other people. Like, those are the blessings that come from developing your spiritual stamina. I don't know if you're like me or whatever, but I feel everything so deeply. And when I get in these seasons, it feels like I am, the absolute worst. I'm like all these things. And it's something you live with, and it's something you grow with, and you get guided through. But I just say that to say that if anyone ever saw this, just know you're not alone, because that's yeah, me too. I think in times like this, the benefit is having that ability and that capacity to recognize it and roll with the punches. It's hard. Like, I don't mince words about it. Shit is difficult. Shit is tough. But at the same time, there are plenty of jewels and wisdom within that. I think that, the lessons, or just the thing that I'm going through today, rather, is this idea of, of how much is too much, and is there such thing? I think that collectively we put so much stock in material advancement, having things, having accolades, having all that, and it can blind us from the spiritual internal wisdom that gets coded in us as a byproduct. Like, I've had to very much reconcile the fact that, for everything that I've tangibly had and lost, that knowledge and that experience has stayed. And, there's seeds in soil being planted, and over time, I don't know when, but they will sprout. They another universal law is, like I said, it's cause and effect. It's karma. It's the capacity for everything has a reaction, and you may not see it right then and there, whatever, but it I'm told it shows up at some point. um but yeah, like I said, it's not this isn't the most this isn't the most motivational one of these I'll probably ever do, but I think just for the sake of creating this archive is I want to be able to look back through it all, through every experience, through every time. Right now I'm in a place where I'm like, I'm looking outside of myself for an answer. I'm looking outside of me for a way through. You start to barter with God. You start to be like, all right, like, well, show me. And, like I said, it's draining. It is. But at the same time, it's like, this isn't my first, second, third, 80th rodeo. I understand this. And, for me, even in frustration, for you, for anybody, even in frustration, I think it's important to name it, to get it out of you, to communicate that, and from there realize that it's not always gonna look the way your ego wants it to. I don't know why I've been tested so hard for so long. I don't. But what I do know is that it has created somebody who can handle it. This is not, this is not condemning life. This is understanding that it is all a dance. Everything is subjective, man. Like, I live a beautiful life. I get to live somewhere beautiful. I have beautiful friends. I get to be creative. Like, it is all amazing. But at the same time, I think, the feeling of just like win is win. It just happens. It happens to the best of us, and I don't want to sit here and pretend like it's not what I'm feeling right now. So yeah, I woke up kind of sick today too, so that didn't help. But I guess for me, right now, more than anything, I need to control the controllables. I need to step outside of thinking my way through how I'm gonna get to where I need to be, because I've done that so many times. And like I said, I really do feel, and this could be a fatal flaw, but I do feel like this has been a destined path. So many things in my life have been a result of of things outside of me that sent me on either a tailspin or a different journey or whatever it is. And I think for me, if anything, hopefully over time, that's not going to happen now or whenever, but hopefully over time I can get to a place where I use all of what I've learned over time to help, help. Whether that be through art or talking, but yeah, it is what it is. That's just how we're feeling. That's just how shit's going. Anything? No, that's it. That's all I really got. If you're not me and you're watching this, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope that if you experience these things, we can reframe it and we can grow. And if this is me looking back at this in some months and some change, hopefully I'm in a place that I can look at this point as appreciation. So yeah, let's get it, man. Have a day.